This is Two Chicks Talkin Flicks, where we review movies. Love them or hate them, someone's got to do it. So enjoy the show. Hi, I'm Sarah.
And I'm April.
And this is Two Chicks Talkin Flicks.
And anything else that gets in the mix.
I like that you took your glasses off. Can you see better without them?
No, it's because, I'm teary-eyed. So I'm going to have to keep wiping my eyes. So I was like, I might as well take off my glasses.
Did Taylor's new album make you want to cry?
Not yet. I haven't listened to the whole album. Because remember, I only listened to the first one.
Oh, yeah.
And so then when I saw there was that deluxe one after I woke up, I was like, oh, crap, I need to listen to that. So I was like, I might as well start from the beginning, right?
True.
And so I haven't made it to the new songs on the extended version.
You know, back in the day when CDs would drop, I remember listening to it from start to end, and you'd be like, oh my God, okay. But I'm super impatient and I always want to hear the songs I know. But I always would try at least the first time to listen to it from start to finish. But I'm not like that anymore. And I'm just like, nope, I don't know. Next. Next. Ooh, this is a song I like. If it entertains me, I'll listen to it. But if it doesn't, I'm like, nah, nope, next.
When I used to buy CDs, I wouldn't buy a CD until it had at least 2 hits, possibly 3.
Right? Same.
You know, because I'm not going to buy a whole CD for just one song.
Yeah, I get the singles. That's what I used to do all the time.
And then it's kind of like, well, if I'm getting the singles, do I even really need the CD?
Yeah.
So it was kind of like a conundrum.
Yeah.
But you would get the CDs because they would have all the different remix versions, you know?
So I was listening, this is going to be a weird roundabout story, but just follow along. So I was listening to the Full House podcast, and one of the girls was talking about a different podcast she was listening to that had just started, and it was about the show Felicity. I loved the show Felicity, and I was like, I should start listening to that. And of course, they started talking about it, and I was like, I need to watch that show. So I kind of started the first couple episodes. And in one of the episodes, I heard a song. Now, mind you, it's streaming on different platforms now.
Yeah.
And they don't have the rights to the original songs.
Oh.
So they had to change the songs.
Oh.
So the song came on and I had never heard the song before. And I was like I was listening to the stuff because I wasn't really watching it. I was more listening to it because I've seen it before. This is probably my third, maybe fourth watch of Felicity. And I was like, what is this song? And I finally was just listening to that. And I was like, I got to find this song. And so I went on a venture of finding it. And I did find it because somebody else had asked the same question on a Reddit thread. And so I went and purchased the song today. So I am who is keeping iTunes alive because I still buy songs on iTunes. I did that today in 2024.
One thing that I regret is, Hotel California.
Yeah.
So
I'm very aware.
A long decades ago, I downloaded most likely an illegal version of it. Okay. And then I now have streaming, right? Yeah. So I had 2 copies of it in my phone. So I just deleted one, a random one, doesn't matter, right? Yeah. Well, they took it out of streaming and it turns out I deleted my hard copy.
Oh no.
Yeah. But I know the phone where I did the period of time when I most likely would have downloaded that song was when I would do it off of my phone instead of the computer. Yeah. And I'm pretty sure that I have a backup version of it.
You know, my mom has every Eagles CD that has ever been made.
I don't have a CD player.
I can put it on a thumb drive.
Yeah, no. I'm pretty sure at one point, one of my phones, I backed up everything. And I remember there was a promotion one time with Samsung that they would give you like 50,000 gigs with Dropbox. Of course, that ended like 5 years later.
Of course.
But you could keep all of the used space that you have. So every now and then I will go to my old Dropbox account and download an old song. So I'm pretty sure either A, I have a copy of it in that Dropbox, or B, there is a folder on my computer that says old phone.
Yeah.
That it's just so much crap, you know? So I'm pretty sure I have a copy of it on one of those two places.
Yeah. Kids today will never understand what it's like to try and get your old stuff back like that.
Yeah.
I guess they don't care about listening to old songs from when they were kids. They will one day when they're our age. They will care about that. And they'll be like, well, I can't find it anywhere. That's because streaming is all there is. You didn't have a tangible thing, and now you can't find it. Because I have, okay, we're going to talk about this.
Okay.
I have a qualm to pick with both Spotify and Amazon Music.
Okay.
If I pick a song out and you have that song or a CD or a whatever it is, I want to listen to that fucking song. You know what I don't want to listen to? Something that's by that same artist that's a different song, or by another artist or something similar. I want to listen to that song. That's why I looked for that song. And you know what they do a lot of times? They don't play that fucking song.
No, because I don't use either one of those.
Bananas.
I do YouTube Music.
Yes, and you know who I always get to listen to the song with? YouTube Music. I always get to listen to the song that I want to listen to. Or just with YouTube in general.
Yeah.
But a lot of times I have to watch the video because they, it's a video or whatever. And that's not conducive when you're driving around. But it's so annoying. I was in this mood to listen to one of my favorite artists. I thought I had it on my phone, and apparently I don't. And I looked it up on Amazon, and they did have it. They played the first song of his, and I was like, sweet. And then the next song, I was like, what song is this? I don't know this song. And it's not on his album. I know that because I have his album. And so I was like, okay, got out of that. I went over to Spotify, and they played like a couple of his songs. And then they played something from a different album of his. And I was like, that is not the album I picked. If I wanted to listen to that album, I would listen to it. So I skipped it. And then it would play a song I wanted to hear. And then it would play a different song.
You can't like or dislike so it doesn't pop up again?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Yeah, on YouTube Music, there's a like or dislike. If I love it, I like it. If I like it, I don't do anything. But if I don't like it or don't want to hear it, I thumbs down it. So it doesn't show up.
Maybe if I paid for either of these, maybe that might be a different case. But I already pay for Amazon Prime. Why is music not included? That doesn't make sense. And it bothers me. So I refuse to pay for it.
The only experience I have with Amazon Music is when one of the Britney Spears CDs I decided to purchase on there. And honestly, I don't even know if I still have it. Like, obviously, I have my copies, but I have no earthly idea where that would even be on my phone. Because obviously, that's the thing. Amazon is broken up, Kindle is separate. You can go through it through Amazon, but it's not easy. Like, the easiest way is going through the Kindle app. And I would imagine maybe there's an Amazon Music app, just like there's Amazon Video and then Amazon.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Amazon.
Well, speaking of Amazon, that's where we watched our movie today. Welcome to CD Talk, but let's move on to the movie talk.
Yes.
So we are reviewing My Big Fat Greek Wedding number 3, Thrice. We've already done 1 and 2. We did that in an episode together like 2 years ago.
Oh, wow.
I know, it's been a while. Maybe a year. I don't know. Time flies.
Yes.
And so do the Greeks in this movie.
synopsis?
Yes. Me?
I can do
You?
it.
Okay.
Okay. So basically, dad is dead and mom has dementia or something. So they decide to fulfill Papu's last dying wish to give his journal to his besties back home. So half of the clan fly.
Yeah, it was a very weird
Yeah.
grouping of people.
Yeah. Half of the clan fly to Greece and they reconnect with their roots. But honestly, all of the people pretty much have up and left, unrooted. And she's Tula gets help from other family members to, continue her mission. And then there's like another Greek wedding to end the movie, and everyone goes back home.
Yeah.
And the movie ends at the airport.
Yeah.
Very lame ending. I am going to be telling you more about my disappointment with that ending at the end.
My overall feeling of the movie is that it should just be called Aunt Vula's movie.
Yeah.
Because
she had the best lines.
She really did. She really, really did. We meet, I guess, Aurelia. I don't know how to say her name.
I don't know.
She's like the mayor of the town. There's like 6 people that live there. And when
she won by 1 vote.
Yes.
Her vote.
Her vote. And she turns out that she is like a cousin of theirs. And she was like, I'm Advula and I'm going to be your favorite. That's the first like real line she has. And then
no, she's offering the dessert in the airplane.
Oh, that is true. Yes. And then she says to that same mayor, she says, my son is gay and I'm okay with alternative lifestyles. And she goes, do you dress like a man or a woman? And she goes, I don't know. It depends. And she's like, how about you? And she goes, it depends. But she just she was wearing this apron and it had a Greek goddess on it who was half naked. And she was wearing that and it cracked me up.
Yes.
Like I could just watch a whole movie of just her. Like she's literally the best part of every single movie.
Yep.
I wish I had an aunt like that, but I don't.
Yeah, maybe not in your teenage years.
That's true.
Yeah, like maybe as an adult you could appreciate the joy and funniness of it, but like not at least under 35, I think it would take.
We'll be back after a quick break.
Ever wondered what it takes to make it in the movie business? Peel back the curtain with 4-6 Success Filmmaking. 4-6 Success Filmmaking is where filmmakers share their stories and the secrets.
It's beyond competitive out there.
There have been movies that it's taken me 10 years to get made.
Don't wait to create. Like, you've got to just keep making stuff.
Tune in to 4-6 Success Filmmaking for your dose of cinematic realness, direct from the voices that have lived it.
I don't know. Like, so it's weird. Obviously people know my mom passed away very recently. And in this movie, their dad passed away just very recently. And then their mom now has dementia. Well,
I feel like that would have been gradual.
Yeah.
It's just now he's dead.
Yeah.
So.
But my grandma just moved with us and she has a form of dementia. And my dad just doesn't understand. He just doesn't get it. He's always trying to correct her. And we're like, Dad,
there's no point.
Yeah, there's literally no point. You're just confusing her more. And it's so fun. Like, she says some stuff and I'm like, I want to know where this is going to go because I never know. Like, my sister said that they were talking and she pointed to these 2 nurses and was like, come here. and they came over and she goes, I got to tell you, I'm quitting. I'm getting out of here. You guys are great, but I'm quitting. And she's like, do you see what they're doing over there? And then my sister, I guess she got distracted and never finished. And I was like, well, what was going on over there? And she said, nothing. There was literally nothing going on. I was like, well, what did she see? And she goes, I don't know. She didn't bring it up. And I was like, that's what I need to know. You can't just stop her in the middle of her talking to correct her. You got to find out what she's going to do. Mm-hmm. She was talking to me about how there was bugs and how she was talking to my sister, like the bugs will go away. And I was like, what is she talking about? And then I realized she was talking about our house in Nebraska when we first moved in. It had been empty for like 10 years.
Oh, wow.
So there was bugs and there was like mice that had kind of gotten in, and we just had to fumigate and stuff and it'd be fine. But I guess she was talking to my sister about it and how, bugs happen, like they're gonna go away. It'll be fine. Mm-hmm. And she just kept talking to me about that. And
did you ask her, was there a praying mantis? Was there a beetle? What kind of bug?
I know, right?
A roly-poly?
I was like, what is she talking about? And then I realized, she's talking about Nebraska. She thinks I'm a kid. And, I just go with it. Like when my mom was in the hospital and she was having some problems with her memory because of some health stuff. And she was saying that there was like ninjas and the people there were going to kill her and all this stuff. I was like, well, Mom, that's why I'm here. Like, I'm a special agent. I'm going to get you out of here. I just went with it.
Yeah.
Because there's no reason to try and correct her because it's not going to work. And they just keep, like, the mom seemed happy in the movie. Like, she didn't seem sad about it. And she was even
joking about it sometimes.
Yeah. And they were just kind of like, they were kind of a downer about it. I'm like,
yeah.
Like, let her be. She's fine.
Yeah, I don't like her storyline.
No, and she would say, I know, but she didn't say that I know in her normal, I know. Mm-hmm. And that bothered me.
Yeah, and we didn't see what's his name's parents.
No, her husband's parents.
Yeah, I wanted to see them.
Yeah, I thought that'd been fun if they went to Greece.
The biggest surprise for me in my Big Fat Greek Wedding #2 was when they said they were getting a divorce and everybody showed up and they showed up too. What was it? Something and Harry.
Yeah.
And then at the wedding, she spit on the wall. She's like, I've been wanting to do that.
Yes.
It's like, I missed that.
Like, I feel like this had a lot of fun in it. It had a lot of...
it wasn't as funny.
There were times that it was funny, but it seemed more... The laughs didn't seem genuine.
Mm-hmm. They introduced new people.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, I feel everybody should have gone to Greece.
Yes.
And... then they just do blunders, like I thought this movie was going to be, they grew up very, very Greek, right?
Yeah.
And then they find out, they're still American Greek.
Yeah.
They're not the authentic Greek,
Yeah.
And it could have been like eye-opening, like, oh, okay, like maybe there's a famous dish, and they love it, but the authentic way was to cook it in like a giant brass cauldron, and everybody's cooking it like that. And we're like, oh, we just use a regular stainless steel pan or something, to that effect.
Do you feel that way when you go to Mexico? Do you not feel like Mexican enough?
Definitely, because they speak real Mexican down there, or Spanish. There's words I do not understand.
Yeah.
But another thing is obviously the town has grown.
Yeah.
So in the movie it would be different, but yeah, I got to see how cheese was made. That was pretty cool. I got to see how enchiladas were made. That was pretty cool. And so it's like, oh, okay. But none of these things, like how they made enchiladas, they're just using modern stuff.
Yeah.
Like a stove. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm seeing how things were done in the last maybe 50, 60, 70 years, but it would have been nice to see how they did it with like authentic, like maybe, you know, a brick oven type thing, you know? So, but no, people have stoves. We got to go more rural. Go more rural.
Like I need to do a 23andMe because I don't know my heritage. I would love to go somewhere and get a little shell shocked.
I'm Greek. I have Greek blood.
Hey.
I also have surprisingly
Opa.
African blood too.
Awesome.
Yeah, from Senegal and Maruetu and like that, like the Costa Ivory type areas.
I have no melanin on my skin. It would be shocking to me if I had anything that wasn't just ivory.
Yeah.
Well, that's not true. I do have Cherokee in my ancestry. Like my mom was like 1/4, 1/16, something like that. So I'm like an eighth, but I don't have that part of on my skin. Obviously, my sister does. She's darker. She tans. I burn. I have more Irish English skin.
I think I'm like what, 62 or 68. I'm in the 60 somewhere percent, like Central America, which is like, because it shows the colors. Like, you know, if you come from the Americas, it's yellow. I think European is blue and Africa is purple. You know, some of the most disappointing things about my tests. Like, you know how they say everybody's related to Genghis Khan if you're like Asian. I've got no Asian.
Really?
I am not related to Genghis Khan at all. It was very disappointing.
Yeah, because you love Asian culture.
I do. I just wanted, just give me a 1% or something, but no. I got 0 French. I wasn't expecting any, but still, I love France, so that would have been cool. You know, I would have loved some Egyptian. No Egyptian. I got the Congo, I think. So
I guarantee you mine's going to be like Ireland, Scotland, England, German, Viking,
I got
Neanderthal, you know, things like that.
I got Spain. I got Portugal. I got Greece. And I got some not exactly Italy, but like one of the islands. Something with an S. Oh my God, it's going to bother me now.
Saint-Tropez.
No, that's an island. I want to say Santori, but that's not right. That is not right. It's Sicily.
Sicily.
There you go.
I think that starts with a C, doesn't it?
SC. I think that's the end of the boot or something. I don't know.
I know that Ma from Golden Girls is from Sicily.
Oh my God, am I related to her?
Maybe.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. So in the movie, they go to this town and the
It's
mayor,
so quiet.
yeah, the mayor just like leaves them. She's like, I gotta go to sleep. And they're like, okay. And then there's nobody around. They did have a running joke where this one town's lady keeps popping up and scaring them. And it kind of reminded me of Mr. Deeds, where the his butler just kept like sneaking up on him, and he's like, sneaky, sneaky, sir.
Yeah, I saw that movie, but I don't remember it.
Oh, well,
I only saw it once when it came out.
well, that guy pops up a lot too. But she was really like one of 5 people that lived in that town. And then we find out, spoiler alert, that her father and that lady got together and they had a baby.
But he didn't know.
He didn't know, and they now have a brother named Peter.
Yeah. I didn't like his intro either, Where Tula's like, oh my God, he's so hot.
Yeah, I was like, first of all, he's not that hot, but okay.
Yeah, and why are you making googly eyes at him while your husband is right next to you?
The thing
calling
is,
you out.
Yeah, the thing is that her husband's very attractive. And I was like, he's not more attractive than your husband.
I was just like very put off by that.
But now she was drunk, so we'll give her that.
She wasn't drunk enough, though.
She went drinking with the girls.
She
went
was day drinking.
She
should have sobered up by then. She should have had a nap by then and then woken up and been not that drunk.
She said, I didn't realize there was alcohol in all that alcohol.
No alcohol in alcohol.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, like, I didn't like that bit. And then they all get up and they hug him like, yay, family. Yeah. And it's like, dude, that's not, it'd be different maybe if you like knew about each other and then this was like a family reunion. But yeah, no, I don't think so. No. I don't even hug my own brothers. I'm not going to hug. Like when I met my half brothers, the most we did was like do the side hug so we could take a picture.
Yeah.
That's.
And you knew about them.
Yeah. And they knew about me.
But like, had you never known about them and you just show up with your dad and they're like, oh, hey, by the way, these are your half brothers. You'd be like, what the fuck?
Yeah. And again, like, that's just us taking pictures. We don't hug. We're not huggers. So that's not realistic. Obviously, it's a movie, you know, but I was expecting like a fun adventure, you know, like, okay, so what? The town's, you know, abandoned. I do like the part where they're kind of helping out, you know, with like the flock of sheep. But it would have been nice. It's like, oh, we need help. Go milk the sheep. And they've never milked a sheep, you know, or we need to make goat's milk. We've never made goat's milk. And I would have loved to have seen their blunders trying to keep this. That would have been nice. Saving the town, which I like how they did bring the water wheel back.
Okay. I have problems with that.
Okay.
So they had in the photo that they had of her dad, he was playing soccer with his little friends and they had this well behind, or like a water wall behind them. And all this water was like flowing out. And I guess it dried up or they put rocks there. And for some reason they didn't have that water anymore. And so then they decided to undo it. And water started gushing out. And none of it was dirty. Like, none of it that came out of the pot was dirty. It hasn't been used or gone through, cycled through in decades. And it was perfectly clean water. I bullshit.
And this water stream, think of it more like the Roman aqueducts. Like, this is like they went out into the forest or whatever and unclogged this so you can see running water falling. Yeah. Okay. So obviously this water in town, it's just for looking, maybe like washing your face or washing your clothes, but this isn't their drinking water, is it?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Like did they plug it up because there wasn't enough people in the town or...
And then my thing is where does this excess water go?
Yeah.
You know, like it makes sense if it's an aqueduct because then this water would fall through there and then go through the other houses, you know?
Maybe it's recycled and I bet that's a Greek word.
Yeah. They didn't have that many of those lines.
No, they had it like once or twice, but
yeah, but yeah.
And then like John Corbett's character, he met this random guy.
The monk.
Yeah. And like they could have explored that a little bit more.
Explored the town and the people.
Yeah. And he said that he was retired now. And we're thinking, well, they could like revitalize this town just with their family alone.
I thought that's where this movie was going.
Yeah.
Like Airbnb this shit, you know?
Yeah.
You know?
But they didn't.
They didn't.
It was kind of pointless.
Yeah.
I mean, they made their goal. They got the book to the people that they needed to. But okay, so part of the family goes the first time. So it's the mom, the dad, their daughter, Paris,
The two aunts.
and her brother.
Oh, and the aunt, what's her name?
Vula.
The favorite one.
Yes.
She desires to hire an assistant that just so happens to be like one of Paris's Tinder dates.
Yeah.
You know? So it's
Aristotle.
Like, yeah.
He's very Greek.
Yeah. I was just like,
Well,
why?
She was meddling. She did it on purpose.
I just didn't like that whole storyline.
And so the first time they all come out together.
Mm-hmm.
So then when they call Nikki and Nicholas and they ask them to help them and then they decide to get on the plane, I thought, okay, that's when all the family was going to go.
Yeah, but it was just them two.
That was the time to have done that.
Yeah.
To bring the rest of the family. That would have made
loved
sense.
to have seen, gosh, I don't know what his name is, but James's cop friend and his wife, you know, and then his parents. I feel like they are very memorable. Come in the movie, and they didn't.
Speaking of James's his friend, he's on Felicity. He plays the coffee shop guy.
But yeah, like
Dean and DeLuca.
I feel that. Oh, and another thing. So one of the townspeople that lives there is a Syrian refugee.
Yeah.
And when she has her wedding, you know, a lot of her friends or people from her community show up. Why aren't they living in that town?
Yeah.
You know, and it made it seem like the towns are really far apart. Like because they mentioned when they were coming into town, there were all these olive trees.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, there's a lot of foreign people that have to come and work this because we don't have the people. You know, were those the Syrians or who were they? You know, that would have been something nice to have explored, you know, maybe because I guess the first girlfriend, the mistress or whatever you want to call her, she did not approve. You know, it was just like, oh, she's a refugee. And it's like, no, she's an immigrant, mother. And it's like, you know what? That would have been a nice storyline. You know, how they consider them outsiders and then they bring, like, this marriage is going to bring them together and the other Syrian refugees are going to help move in to revitalize this town. That would have been a nice little tie-in, you know, because where did these people come from? I don't know.
I don't know either.
I would have liked more light. The wedding was kind of dark. I get it. They may have even filmed this on site, I feel, or somewhere. But I feel, you know, it's a movie. Just pay for more lights. You know, just get more. They lit everything by candle. Freaking string up some Christmas trees. I don't care that it's not authentic. I need to see what's happening.
Like we said when we were watching it, maybe they were trying to stay away from how it looked in Mamma Mia, you know?
Yeah. So that's why I think they tied in the Syrian just so that they could have a different type of wedding.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that. I just want to see it.
Yeah.
Because it was lit by fire and not a lot of fire. Like, have a giant bonfire or something. I want to see. And really, from the Syrians, all I really saw were the men that were playing the instruments. Where are the women? I would have loved to have seen their food. You know what would have been nice? if you know, Aunt Vula or something, she's looking at something, has a plate, and she's like, what is this? And then the other aunt, she's like, I don't know, but it tastes good. And then one of the Syrian women comes and she's like, oh, it's da-da-da. And then Aunt Vula finishes chewing and she's like, it tastes like da-da-da. You know, this is da-da-da, but with extra spice or something, you know, like they could have done so much more with the Syrian, I would have loved to have seen what Syrian food is.
Yeah.
and them commenting on it, and maybe somebody else could have been like, oh, like one of the guys, could have been like, this is really good, da-da-da. And then somebody else could have been like, oh no, that's doo-doo-doo, And then he'd be like, doo-doo-doo is Greek or whatever, like I just...
Bunt cake.
Bunt cake. But yeah.
I know.
I didn't get to experience the beauty of the Syrian culture.
Yeah.
Because obviously we already know about the Greek culture, movie wise. That was another thing. We have viewed this Greek trilogy through an American Greek point of view.
Yeah.
It would have been nice to have seen them experience what real Greece is. Again, a tie-in.
Yeah.
Maybe they could have they should have shown them go into the next town to get provisions. Well, they kind of showed that,
I mean, even just showing them like walking up 1,000 billion steps to get to where they need to be would have been pretty funny.
Yeah. I would have loved to have seen, maybe they see people who are weaving the old school way. Yeah. They were in Greece. We should have gotten more of the Greek experience.
Yeah.
And we didn't.
No.
It would have been nice if they, embraced the Greek clothes and they're like, yes, buy the little Greek dress, put it on, that would have been a nice experience.
Yeah, I don't know. I was kind of let down by this one.
So I was looking forward to their trip to Greece.
Yeah.
And it got overshadowed, Like it got overshadowed by like their side quests. Like, they spread Dad's ashes at his favorite tree, which happened to be the oldest tree. At nighttime, was there light?
No.
Only moonlight.
Yeah.
You couldn't see nothing.
It was like the eclipse.
Yeah. It would have been nice if they had done it the next morning with all of the family and maybe said some nice stories. Like, I remember when he poured Windex on my pimple on my wedding day,
Yeah.
And then somebody else could tell a story that we didn't see, something else, dumb. Like it just, I think I could have written a better story.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
and then at the end, Tula and her brother are talking, and he basically says that she is now the head of the family because the mom has dementia, the dad's gone.
mm-hmm.
And she's like, well, what about our older sister? And he's like, she has like 6 kids. And she's like, well, what about our new brother? He's like, no.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, she's now the head of the family.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, yeah, she is. But
Definitely.
But like, I don't know. It would have been nice to see. You were talking about how we should have seen clips of that, but we didn't.
So, okay, the movie ends and they're bringing the brother back. The mom knows about it, but she has dementia. So she's kind of okay with it because she doesn't really understand the implications, So they're bringing him back and then they're at the airport and they're walking out of the airport and the movie just ends. And I'm just like, where the movie should have ended? It should have ended kind of like where Everybody Loves Raymond series finale, where they're all gathered around the table, cooking, eating, and the camera just pans away. Like we don't even have to hear the conversations, you just pan away.
Yeah.
It should end in a family setting with everybody.
And at their restaurant, like something like that.
That would have been very nice. And then it zooms out and you just see the little dancing Zorro.
Yeah.
Oh, that would have been a fantastic ending.
But we didn't get that. We just got airport.
Yeah. like, you know what? It could have just been like the family that stayed are in the restaurant and they're walking in and everybody's yelling, running and hugging each other, and then you just pan outside.
Yeah.
And then end credits.
It was kind of a letdout, this movie.
It really, really was.
Yeah.
Also, Tula's having trouble finding her dad's best friends to give him his diary.
Yeah.
It's basically this journal he kept ever since he left Greece. And it's like, you know what? She even let her brother read it. And I was like, if anything, you should give it to him.
Yeah.
Right? Like, he knows nothing about his father other than what your mother told him.
Yeah.
And that would have been up until the point that he left Greece. So it would have been nice if he learned about his life after Greece.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You know, I don't know. I just feel really let down by this movie.
Same.
I really have nothing else to say.
Yeah. Like, obviously, movie number 2 can't compare to movie number 1.
Yeah.
But movie number 3, I'm just going to pretend never existed.
Yeah. That's the problem with trilogies. Sometimes they get better, and sometimes it's like, well, no wonder why it wasn't very good.
They should have just waited until they had a better script.
Yeah.
They had the pieces that, if they had enough time, could have given them a great script.
I just wonder if it's the same people, because she wrote the first one. I wonder if she wrote 2 and 3.
Or how much she contributed. Yeah. Maybe she just gave the ideas like, let's go to Greece.
You know, so it's like, you're slipping, lady, you're slipping.
Yeah. I don't think the mom should have had dementia. It's okay for her not to go on the trip.
Yeah.
You know, maybe she's still, grieving with pain. She doesn't want to go back to their little village or whatever, you know?
I mean, it just could have been that she's older and couldn't walk and stuff like that. That's perfectly fine.
Exactly. So they just shouldn't have given her dementia.
Yeah.
You know?
Or maybe she just had her hip replaced. You know, there's lots of different things they could have done. But if you had to rate it, what would you rate this?
Like I said, I'm never going to see this movie again.
Yeah, probably not.
I'm going to give this a 3 out of 10. This town only has one vehicle? Question mark.
Right. Yeah, I'm right there with you. I was thinking 4 out of 10. Just rather watch Aunt Vula do stuff.
Yeah, like it's just there was literally no point of them going to Greece.
No, there was no meat in this movie. It was just sides.
Yeah,
and they weren't very good sides.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think it would have been funnier if they went out to California.
Yeah. I think that you guys should just watch My Big Fat Greek Wedding 1 and then just listen to this review.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Still, number 2, they had everybody in it, you know? But nothing's going to compare to number 1.
No. All right, gang. Well, if you love this movie, you can
tell us why.
Yeah, right. Send us an email or a DM or whatever at Two Chicks Talkin Flicks. And until next time,
toodles.
Bye. This episode was produced by Two Chicks Talkin Flicks. Music was produced by Michael Girvani. If you like this episode, please like and subscribe. If you'd like to be a part of the show, have a movie suggestion, or just want to give us some love, you can email us at twochickstalkinflicks@gmail.com. Thanks, guys. Toodles.